But I do see it burgeoning. Social media, I mean, things like, it's already started in other countries, but this idea of rating each other socially.
Social credit system.
Ooh.
You get like a 5-star rating on who you are as a person, like an Uber driver.
That's a tough one. Ooh.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. And so if that is a thing, if that's going to be a thing and that's real, then that's a pretty hardcore extroverted feeling, harmony, energy coming online. So I love that you're asking, as even if it's your 10-year-old or tertiary function, I love that you're asking, like, how can we be good stewards of it? And the most important thing, I mean, I think there's a couple different pieces here. And the first one is any single function that is allowed to run loose without other functions making sure to, to shape it and keep it in line, will always do damage. Always. So if extroverted feeling is allowed to be on its own without any other influence containing it, it will do as much damage as extroverted thinking was allowed to do during the time periods that Joel mentioned, right? And the blind spot of extroverted feeling or harmony, I say this as a fellow user, is that we always believe we're so well intended, right? Like how could I possibly hurt anybody? I want connection. Mm-hmm. I want to create I want to create harmony. I want to get everybody's needs met. So the blind spot is in the damage it can do. So that first has to be acknowledged, right? It is not a function that, even if altruism is its highest ideal, it doesn't mean that it's always hitting the target, right? Mm-hmm. It can do damage. And it's going to do the most amount of damage when it has not integrated the other side of the polarity of introverted thinking or accuracy. Mm. And that is, everybody gets to think their own thoughts.
Okay.
And so when extroverted feeling, believing everybody is agreeing, that's the same kind of metric as body count. Okay. And it doesn't sound like it, right? That's not, I mean, we're not killing anybody, but you're killing thoughts and ideas. And if somebody is out of line and doesn't agree with you, and you dogpile them, and you call them a terrible human being because they're not agreeing with, whatever is the acceptable concept or meme in the collective.
Shame them.
You shame them. You say that they're poorly intended because they're not agreeing with you. It sounds like not that big of a deal at first, but then that's how thoughts die. That's how expression dies. That's how calibration and amelioration and optimization and all the other great things that introverted thinking or accuracy brings. It's how they all die. And so giving people room to disagree, giving people room to have their own opinions on things, to speak radical honesty, to speak their personal truth. You might not like it, right? It might create discord, but harmony is not created by ignoring thoughts, right? It's not like the thoughts go anywhere. They just end up in the shadows, and they grow like mold where we can't see them. So you want all of those thoughts out there, and harmony is created through discord. Now, the challenge is that if you put two brains together, it doesn't matter how aligned they are in a million different ways. Two human beings are always going to disagree about something, which is one of the reasons why extroverted feeling or harmony has a tendency to not really dive into personal opinions on things. They kind of want to keep things at a place of mimetic simpatico. The less you know about somebody else's opinions, right, the more harmony you have, right? If you don't speak another person's language, then you have no idea what you disagree. You can just smile and nod and everybody feels good. The more we talk, the more we communicate and express our ideas, the more opportunities for discord are going to come up, and some of them unreconcilable. To integrate introverted thinking, though, one thing that function understands, I would argue better than just about any other function, is that the universe is built of paradox, and the two sides of paradox must be represented. Otherwise, we're not actually looking at reality directly. So somebody's thought that is horrifically offensive to you, that you think is a terrible thing and makes them a terrible person for thinking it, is being thought because on some level it is true. So you have to figure that out. How is it true? How is it paradoxically true with my truth? And you start stamping that down and making it unacceptable and shaming people for it. you end up down a very, very dark road where a lot of damage is done on the other side. So I think to be the best steward of extroverted feeling or harmony is to integrate introverted thinking or accuracy by not handing your mind over to collectives, by not jumping on mimetic bandwagons, by going, what do I think that literally nobody agrees with me on? And is it okay for me to think that? And the answer is yes, absolutely. You get to think whatever you want to think.
And not just think it, but be brave enough to say it.
Yep, exactly. So people who have this as a strength, the shepherds of it, the stewards of this function, the FJs, the more they can make peace with their introverted thinking or accuracy, their truth that is separate from everybody else's, the better. And the more introverted thinking or accuracy users, the TPs, that are stewards of radical honesty, or at least their perspective of truth and paradox, the more they're brave enough to communicate and speak their truth. That's actually, interestingly enough, even though extroverted feeling or harmony has a tendency to kind of like sometimes not listen to, say, extroverted thinking or effectiveness, it has a tendency to go, well, I don't have to listen to that. If a well-reasoned argument that is penetratingly accurate and a representation of complete truth, most of the time FJs go, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really sounds like what we really want is to also create containers where there's safety in addition to harmony.
Right. Safety for expression of thought.
Right.
And including unacceptable thought.
So I don't have to worry about getting exiled from the tribe just because I'm saying an unpopular opinion.
That's right.